Okay, so if you clicked on this video, you probably want to know how to make sure you get your offer accepted. And honestly, the answer is pretty simple. In short, the answer is this. You want to make sure your offer is the most desirable, gives the most to the seller, and it beats all of the other offers when it comes to desirability. And that's it. And that's all you really have to do. And if you can do that, you're going to walk home with a home and you're going to be happy. It's a little more complicated than that. But in short, that's really the truth. If you can make your offer the most desirable, you are going to win. But I want to go over 4 areas that is how you can make your offer the most desirable, the most attractive in the midst of all of these other buyers. How do we make sure that yours comes out on top? Well, over the next few minutes, I'm going to be going over just that. So if you're interested in that, stick around, give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you like videos like these. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so number 1, it's pretty obvious, and that has to do with the price. The offer that has the highest price typically is the offer that's going to win. In most cases, that is not in every case, because if you have a conventional loan or an FHA loan and you have a loan involved in a bank, well, then you're going to have another issue, and that's appraisals. But we'll take care of that here in a second. But let's talk about price. Price is the highest price wins, and money talks. People will most times want to say, hey, what's the closing date? Hey, do you want this to say? We want to make this offer as gentle and as receivable to the seller as possible, when in reality, the seller just wants a high price. You can almost forget all of the fluff, give a super high price, beat everybody else in price, and there's a good chance that you're going to win. And if you're a cash offer, great. You're going to win, period, because cash wins. That's hands down. But not in all cases are people going to beat out and play with cash, and it's going to be with a loan, and they're going to do a conventional loan or a FHA loan. And that goes us to the next thing to make your attractive more offer is the type of loan that you have. If you have a conventional loan, that's one of the most attractive. If you have an FHA, it's a little bit less attractive. And then VA loans are some of the least attractive products for sellers out there, even though they're the best product when it comes for a buyer. It's a phenomenal product. It's not very attractive to a seller. And at the very top of the list, though, is cash. Cash is going to win, as we just said a second ago. So you want to make sure that if you have the capacity to go conventional loan, or you have the capacity to do a cash offer up front, I would suggest doing a cash offer. Here's an example. Let's just say you want to use the loan, but you have the funds for cash. Well, purchase the home with cash, win, beat all the other offers, and then go back to the bank and refinance or get a loan on your home, and then they'll give you back all the cash in your house, and you don't have to pay taxes on it. It's pretty cool. But that's not going to be in all cases. So let's talk about appraisal gaps and appraisal gap coverages. This is the second way that you can make your offer attractive to a seller, is by covering the differences between what the offer is and what the value of the home is according to an appraisal. For example, if the house is listed at $400, you offer $450, and the house appraises at $425. Well, that's a $25,000 difference from where the bank is willing to give you a loan and what you offered. Well, that $25,000 is either going to be paid by the seller by dropping that price from $450 to $425, or a buyer can say, well, Mr. Seller, I'll cover that difference of $25,000, and I, out of my own pocket, will pay that extra $25,000 so that you walk away with more money. Well, that right there is more attractive to a seller than having to drop the price down to $425,000. So every market is going to be different on what those appraisal gap coverages is. Here in the Midwest, where home values are kind of muted, we're seeing anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 for gap coverages. In different parts of the country that I've heard, it's $50,000, $60,000 that I've seen. So you're going to want to make sure that you lean into your real estate agent for advice through all of this. And these are honestly the things that you're going to want to talk to your realtor about when it comes to time to writing an offer and trying to make it the most attractive. So number one is talking about price. Number two is your financing and the financing type. The third is going to be the gap coverage. And the next is going to be having a conversation about covering a portion of the seller's closing costs. Just the same way that you have your own closing costs, sellers have their closing costs. They have their title fees. They're going to have their commission fees that they pay the realtor. They're going to have their own set of fees that they're going to have to pay. Well, as a buyer, you can make your offer more attractive by saying to the buyer or saying to the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, I will cover, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of your closing costs and I will pay for them. Well, that is very attractive because now you're giving the seller more money without increasing the price. Right? If we have a loan, we hit that appraisal limit that we've been talking about. So one way you can keep your offer lower is by keeping an offer low at a lower purchase price. Say in that example, $450. You could keep it at $450 instead of going higher and then offer the seller to pay to cover some of their closing costs. This is an attractive way to seller because it's just going to put more money in their pocket at the end of the day. And it's less risk to them that the house doesn't appraise. That's why it's an attractive option. And then the fourth way to make your offer attractive is by removing all and any inspections. At one point in time, doing inspections for informational purposes only was a great option, and it worked really well back in 2021 and 2020. But not this year. In 2022, so far, I have seen absolutely no inspections going on right now. It's mind-blowing that it's not even an option to consider as buyers. I mean, if you go back and you look at other videos that are, just 2 years old, you'll hear realtors tell you that you should never buy a home unless you do a home inspection. Well, that's not even an option anymore. Doing home inspections, unless you are buying a very undesirable home inspections are not even taking place. I mean, especially when you're paying $50,000 over price, there's going to be another buyer that's willing to remove the inspection altogether, and it's just a very inexpensive, easy way for you to make your offer look more attractive at the end of the day. Now, I want to share with you a couple examples of offers that I've seen put in, what they looked like, to give you an idea of how you could potentially structure an offer with your realtor on a home that you're interested in. Okay, so in a house that I listed a home here last week, and we got multiple offers. The offer that we ended up accepting was a cash offer, but the cash offer was lower than some of the conventional loans. And so you can actually make your offer as a conventional loan more attractive than a cash offer if that cash offer is not willing to go higher in price. Because at the end of the day, when we're looking at the cash offer and a conventional loan, you want to make sure that if you have the conventional loan, that you are beating the cash offer. You have to be higher than a cash offer and willing to cover the difference. So for example, if a cash offer is at, let's say, $400,000, and then you as the conventional loan come in at $415,000. Well, you may have a shot if you're willing to cover any appraisal gap differences and you're doing no inspections and you've gotten it clear to close already, where you've gone through the bank's process of getting qualified and all of that's done, and it's not just a pre-approval, but you've been pre-qualified. It's gone all the way through the entire process, and you know that when you write that letter or you're writing that offer, it's a done deal. You're going to have a better chance compared to a cash offer. Another offer that I ended up losing a deal for my client, and I was very, very, very disappointed, where the price was listed at $475,000. We offered $525,000, and we were willing to cover $50,000 difference in appraisal gap difference. So that basically means we went up to $525,000. We were willing to cover the difference up to the asking price of $475,000, and we did no inspections, and we still lost. So the way you structure your offer sometimes may not even be enough when there's just more money out there by other buyers. So Overall, guys, these are the 5 ways that you can make your offer stand out amongst the competition, and that is in the price, that's in your financing type, it's in appraisal gap coverages, it's in covering a portion of the seller's closing cost, and then lastly is removing all inspections from the terms of the contract to make your offer the most attractive it can be. And if you do these things together and you do a combination of these things with your realtor, asking and leaning on them for advice, you're going to have a better chance of coming out with a home in 2022 than somebody else that may not do all those things. So guys, hopefully this video was helpful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.